Okie dokie. Quantum, welcome in. How are you today? Wow. It's gonna be one of those days. I'm tired. Oliver, welcome in. Just got back from vacation. Still recovering. As I do. Start off with some rugbies today.
Hello.
Corvus, welcome in.
New Elden Ring trailer dropped.
Oh, I saw that. Do they have a release date for it?
Yes, 4 months from now.
4 months.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
In June 21st.
June 21st. Okay. Pretty good doing some rotating cube practices for sketching, and it's hurting my brain. Yeah, those are tough. Good to do though. Cat sighed and winked at you. They're probably plotting to kill you. That's what my cats always do.
Bring your downfall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, official 4K. Oh, no, wait, that's just the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like things that Elden Ring doesn't need. 4K upscale. You can probably already play it on 4K, but the game's bugs were rough.
Yeah. Apparently, they're working on doing seamless dungeons with multiplayers now.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's what all the that was the most downloaded mod. so it makes sense that they would do that.
Yeah.
Jeff Clear's a bit off-putting, but the belly's so fluffy. Well, good luck with that. Count your fingers beforehand. Yeah, I played with the seamless multiplayer mod. The game was so much better. The worst part about Elden Ring was having to constantly try to reconnect with your friends.
Oh. I didn't play with friends, so. Mainly because I just didn't have PlayStation Plus.
Well, you didn't. Yeah, you also didn't have to deal with PvP, so like, you kind of dodged the bullet on the worst parts of that game.
It's like, ironically, not having PlayStation Plus saved me all the heartache and annoyance of being invaded.
Mm-hmm. It is Wednesday. We are doing the viewer suggestion. I have a bunch of things for this week. Except Druid's around, I can move over. Move over the rugby.
Only 25 this week.
Yeah.
For now.
I animated the bird a little more, so now he screams. Which I think works pretty well. Changed the light bulb behind me, and now the room just feels like it's the wrong color. Go. There's some beefy rugby legs I just drew. Not sure what that's about. Is your room yellow now because of it? No, I actually replaced a yellow light, and now it's bright white or cool white, I think. All the lights in this room are different colors because I've never bought enough of the same type.
Hello, Drew.
Hello.
You're alive.
I am alive.
Welcome back. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. I was AWOL last week because my sleep schedule flipped on me. So basically, my body does a what's the work schedule where you swap day and night shifts?
Like alternate?
Yeah. Well, for every 2 weeks for some horrible jobs where you have to alternate every 2 weeks. My body just does that naturally.
I've never known of any jobs doing that.
Really?
Yeah. I just mostly know of, like, you got third shift, which is the late shift, and you got first shift, which is like the early shift.
I've worked overnight. I've worked like close, which is 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I've worked the 5 a.m. opening shifts. I worked a couple like really long shifts in a warehouse that essentially like I would get up and go in at 6 and then I wouldn't leave until like 7 or 9. And so I didn't see the sun for like 2 months and I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this.
So apparently there's a live action Borderlands movie.
That's unfortunate.
I agree.
I don't know what it is about that series that just it irks me. Not my thing.
Yeah,
Has Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
Vaughn, welcome in.
Kate Blanchett
Seriously?
and Kevin Hart as the main characters.
Is it like a Jumanji? Or are they actually playing the characters?
I had no idea.
Neither of those women would be who I would consider, for a role of a siren. Man, I don't want to watch that. I really enjoyed the games. I do not want to watch that.
Dude.
Might be good. Who knows?
It could be. I mean, they're all great actors.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of their acting. I'm afraid of the script writers and the director. How do I want to warm up today? I don't know.
I think I've finished my rugby here. Then we can get into the actual drawing. I did a scraggly rugby. Oh god, I kind of want to watch this trailer.
I'm sorry. Three-minute intercession.
Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of... Well, put the window up.
Do you know how many people have died?
Okay, so it's essentially just Guardians of the Galaxy, but post-apocalyptic. I could watch that. I'd probably enjoy that. Whole stream is dedicated to writing a combat encounter. That's the way to do it. It's a good time. I'd gotten back into DMing other games, and then Helldivers 2 came out, and now that's pretty much all me and my friends do is play Helldivers, which is great. Okay. I'm turning you off. Turning you off, phone. When I say no notifications, and then you notify me every day about the same thing that I keep telling you not to notify me about, that's when you get turned off.
Apparently Jack Black's playing the robot.
Okay.
Jack Black is playing Claptrap.
Little trash can robot? Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine, but there's no reason they couldn't have gotten the voice actor who did Claptrap for the video game. Because I guarantee they're not putting Claptrap inside of an R2 unit, of a super shitty R2 unit, and having them actually act it out, right? Like, that's not practical effects.
But voice actors don't have name recognition. That's what you're forgetting.
Yeah. But, like...
Except for maybe Andy Serkis. But he's also sort of an actor
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they don't usually give him billing when he does a voice.
yeah. Everybody in Critical Role now has clout, name recognition.
2 of them. 3 of them do. No one else.
Yeah. If you ask somebody who Matt Mercer was that doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons, they would not know.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. But like Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey.
He was an actor before, or actress before. she was on Critical Role. A fairly famous actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley Johnson's an actual actress. I mean, they're all actors, but
Don't get me wrong.
Ashley's known.
Yeah. She's well known as a childhood actress. Even Taliesin Jaffe. Like,
Yeah.
I did not think Taliesin was that well known, considering he got out of it at what age, like 13?
I think it was a bit later than that. But like, yeah, like, out of the group, it's like Ashley, Taliesin, and like Sam and Laura that people may recognize because
all I'm saying is voice actors do not get the credit the same way
yeah,
movie listings do. So for them to pick Jack Black, that is a marketing thing versus authenticity to a video game. Like, that's just not the priority.
it's like how we have like Mark Hamill
Yeah.
or different animated characters. He's great at them. It's just it gives a bit more name recognition to the cast for production.
Because you know what it would have... Sorry, let me rephrase that. It would have been way cheaper to not use Jack Black.
Yep.
So they obviously did it on purpose.
The people who are going to watch this, the thing where I think it's a misstep is people who are going to watch this film, because I know a lot of people actually. You're not the only one who does not care for Borderlands, but the people who do like the Borderlands video game, those are diehard fans.
Yeah.
Right?
So
So
go ahead.
the misstep is assuming that the people who are going to watch this film would prefer to have Jack Black over the voice actor of Claptrap in the video game.
And I would argue for the exact same reason to not do that, because the diehard fans are probably going to shit on the movie anyways. So they are very much reaching out for the name recognition to bring people who don't know the video games into the movie.
Fair.
Okay, I'm done with rugby.
Again, maybe the voice actor. Another possibility is maybe the voice actor just didn't want to do it.
Sure.
That does not make any sense to me. Like, Corvus, have
What, you don't love money?
any Borderlands?
He may not. I'm just saying there are some voice actors who just don't stick around with their the IP that they redo.
That's
so
true.
But Claptrap was consistent throughout all 3 games despite years of separation. And the thing that makes me think that that's probably not the case is Claptrap has some of what I think must have been the funniest, just most ridiculously fun lines to read of any video game I've ever played. So it's entirely possible that the original voice actor didn't have a sense of humor about the character that he played, but considering all of the not just the 3 main games, but all of the ancillary games, the spin-offs, and all of the times that he's played Claptrap, I don't think that would be the case. I don't know.
Hate to break it to you, Druid. Claptrap has had 4 different voice actors.
Damn it. You looking at IMDb?
Yeah, people wanted The Rock or Bill Murray to do it.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray would have made a pretty good Claptrap.
I was slightly wrong. So, David Eddings did the first 4 Borderlands games, but was then replaced later on with Jim.
Yep.
Some
He got replaced because he asked for more money and they said nope. So that sucks. Case in point, exactly what we're talking about. Yes, Burning, we are talking about the cash grab that is the Borderlands movie. And Jack Black does sell seats. That is exactly what we were talking about. So, sorry to disillusion you, Druid.
Well,
It's all about the money.
We're not dogpiling you.
Yeah, I will say then that the guy that they replaced to do Eddings, or that they hired to replace Eddings, did a bang-up job. I could not tell.
Fair enough.
And I have played hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of those games.
Yeah.
I remember, it's like Sam Riegel used to be in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Which was really funny. And it's always funny when I find an old game with someone's voice that I know. I'm just like, I know who that is. What's happening here?
Also, don't forget, Taliesin Jaffe was also in Final Fantasy 14.
Yep. I've been playing Helldivers 2 a lot, and one of the pilots, when you've completed a mission, sounds like Matt Mercer, and I'm just like, would they? Maybe they would. I don't know, and I haven't looked it up yet. But it definitely sounds like him. 8.
There are definitely people who can mimic Matt Mercer's voice.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe one of the reasons Matt Mercer is such or has done so many voice acting jobs in his career is probably because his voice is actually pretty generic.
So
It's very clear and clean.
Yeah.
The most friendly demon worshipping minotaur barbarian dude you can summon, try to make it scary and wholesome. Well, I hate that it's 4 things that all contradict each other, but we'll try it out as this is the first one here. Demon bull, but friendly? Question mark. We'll try that. I don't know if, did it say warlock? I totally just forgot the whole barbarian. Okay. Demon cow barbarian for the first one today.
So something out of Call of the Lamb.
I could think about it that way. Yeah, maybe that would help. Is the music really
They're
loud?
all clearly evil, but kind of cute.
There we go. I gotta play that some this weekend. That was good. That's
So
fun.
it looks like it's Yuri Lowenthal that people are thinking is Matt Mercer.
Okay. Other people have said the same thing.
Yep.
Funny.
'Cause I feel like if
I'm struggling to draw today.
Rigel.
Except for the wild server issues. Helldivers is pretty good. I'm very happy with it so far. If you like squad-based bug shooting games. They lean really hard into what if we made what's it called? Shoot. Starship Troopers the game. Like
Yeah.
they don't even try to avoid it. They're just like, yep. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I would not be surprised if they tried to actually get it licensed for that and couldn't. But democracy.
Demacia.
It's got that vibes, 100%. How's everybody else's week going? Hope people had a good weekend. I should have done the skull, but I should have made it kind of cutesy. Maybe I'll just do like a egg body. Make it rounder. Got some metal dice or satisfying thunk? Yeah. You know what you mean? I got a pirate-themed metal set for my birthday several years back. Yeah, I like the metal dice. Metal dice are great. I did have to replace my glass desk just to use them, but I'm okay with that.
Shattering your... Sorry, just got distracted.
Mid-sentence.
Yep. I just saw a picture of Wildstar, which I don't know if people remember Wildstar.
That's a video game, right?
Yeah, online, free
Yeah.
game.
I remember when that came out, they were toting like a brand new like reaction system that no MMO has, that every MMO has. Except I think they added a dodge button, so all the telegraphs you just basically had to dodge out of the way of. I'm like, this isn't new and innovative at all. This is console stuff on a PC.
It's the
What's
same
happening?
thing but lazier.
It's the same thing but lazier, yeah. And it didn't really work
Have
because
you not played free computer games?
Oh yeah, no. I
Just
played
saying,
a lot of
they're
them.
all the same. They all say this stuff.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't exist anymore, so... It's... I guess the term is defunct?
Yeah.
Like, they shut down the servers, like, 2018.
Yep. I had a bunch of friends that were like, we need to play this. And then we played it for like a week, and then we just went back to playing WoW. We're like, I'd rather pay money for good things. I don't know how I'm going to make this guy cute. Maybe I'll give him some poof hair.
It's all in the eyes.
Oops. Well, that's my problem.
Or just have a bunch of hair covering the eyes, like a yak or a Highland cow.
Yeah, that would
Could do
work.
that. He looks like a chicken now. I don't know what I've done.
Alright, that's enough aimless warm-up. I'm ready to roll.
Okay, roll a d20.
15.
I'm being hyped for it and never actually played it. Yeah, it was not great. This week, I suggest as a Pathfinder 2 character, an elementalist or axolotl sorcerer with a water bloodline. Who is also a deep sea diver? Oh. Axolotl sorcerer. Axolotl
Okay.
or elemental sorcerer. Water bloodline. The only thing I didn't really expect is how hard to balance things for a level 1 party. Yeah, I mean, level 1 is pretty tough, but only because they're kind of designed to die.
Yeah. Everything real squishy at level 1.
Yeah, you really have to play it different. Like, it should be an introductory fight. So, like, I liked using goblins because I think people can buy in that they're kind of silly and goofy and not really that smart. So when you throw 7 goblins at a party, like, that could easily kill them if they were trained goblins. But if they're just, like, more focused on looting and doing whatever else, it adds a lot of chaos but doesn't actually threaten the party. And then you can judge when the fight needs to end by just having the rest of them scatter. Same thing with rats. Like, rats in a I was gonna say dungeon, but that's not right. Rats in a cellar.
In a sewer.
Yeah.
In a cellar.
They're not really in any danger, even though the rats might kick the shit out of them. And then the guy from upstairs will open the latch and scare off all the rats. So it's just something to think about. What's the instigation of your fight? What's the resolution options? What happens if they lose? I'm having trouble with this horn. Because they're really weak, yet also stronger than I thought, so they would use some smart tactics and avoid combat intelligently, and it would work rather well. They're now level 2, so my job is easier. Yeah, I mean, I let level 1 people level up without combat if they can do it. I think it's smart. I'm a big fan of rewarding ingenuity. You know what's cute? Things that are on fire.
Yeah. That's
Fire otters.
Yep.
That's just a true statement. The statement of fact.
My body's real dumb. I went out of town and I ate horribly for a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it's fine. I can do that. I've been doing really well. And ever since I've gotten back, my body's just like, you should just keep eating. Like, I remember what eating lots of food was like. You should keep doing that. And so I'm just like, I'm just hungry. just so hungry. And I do not need food. But I want to snack so bad.
Eat some celery.
Yeah. I had some oatmeal and fruit for breakfast, and I had some rice for lunch. And my body just wants more. More.
To plan out how to draw an axolotl that doesn't make it look like I'm just drawing a massive pink penis.
It's kind of what you're doing, I guess.
It's kind of the salamander body composition.
The body shape of most animals.
You have a warlock, a paladin, a cleric, and a druid. So you have the 4 most powerful things put together that all have healing. Except the warlock, I guess.
Yep.
Depends on.
Yeah.
Unless they're a divine soul sorcerer. Or divine warlock, I mean.
Yeah, and doubling the health doesn't really matter because that only happens at level 1. Like, that's the danger of level 1, is that pretty much anything that crits can kill somebody. So, you're out of the woods there, but it's not really something you have to worry about. Yeah, level 2
It
is...
could be worse. Though. They could be playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Mhm. I've killed way more characters in Pathfinder than I ever have in D&D.
Same.
Yep.
I've killed more characters in one campaign than I have in my entire life of playing D&D.
A wolf could sneeze on a wizard in Pathfinder 2e and kill them.
Yep.
If 2e is not nearly as bad as 1e. Especially at low levels. 1e,
Yeah.
1e, everything below level 5 is so squishy that my...
I honestly have heard the opposite. That 2e in early levels is worse than 1e.
Well, but 2e has the recovery system. Whereas with Pathfinder, instead of having the death saves, it was just as soon as your health hit your Constitution modifier negatively. So if you had, I think it was Constitution. I think it was whole Constitution. So if you had 10 Constitution and you had 2 hit points and you took 12 damage, you just instant died. You just instantly died. Instant death, no recovery. End of story. That was the real dangerous part. And then a lot of characters like barbarians and stuff would get temporary hit points that for some reason went away last. So you'd stop raging and instantly die. It was really weird. It was really weird.
Because they goofed.
Yeah. Because the reason they did it that way is so that if you raged, and someone hit you for 10, you wouldn't just rage again to get more temporary hit points. But it didn't work out that way. It was a bad idea. Did not work as intended. Lots of cool stories of people raging and saving a party and then just insta dying afterwards. Which is kind of realistic, I suppose. Yeah. Especially for blood ragers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super funny. Jump Rope died that way a few times.
Which I guess technically Blood Raiders will still do it because the Unchained Barbarian rules doesn't technically apply to Blood Raiders, officially.
Yeah. I've read some forums about that where they're just use the Unchained version because it makes way more sense. Sorry, Drew. I'm kind of taking up some space.
You're fine. I have no idea what I'm doing. I got a feeling I'm going to be real down on everything I draw today.
Then Axolotl Waterbender.
I do feel like what's the game we were just talking about?
Borderlands?
Borderlands, yeah. Borderlands is kind of, I want to say they're selling out, but which is fine. They can totally do that. But they're branching all over the place instead of just making a new game. Just usually.
I don't think there's any game left to make.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're just kind of what do we do? Sell the movie rights. Nobody wants this. Get it to Jack Black. He likes video games. I really
will
would bet that's what
say-
it was.
Yeah. I will say that the like the premise for the world might actually make better film than video game,
Yeah.
which is not something I think I've ever said before.
Well, video games have their own unique like physics and rule systems, which like books do
Yeah.
too. So like that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think the transition between books to like or games to traditional media are a little separate because of how people interact with video games. And so any movie you make of a video game is already, I would say, less not involving. What's the word I'm looking for? Less immersive, because you lose control. So video games, in my mind, have always been kind of like the pinnacle of storytelling medium, because you get to put yourself in the place of the movie or the main characters. So
I would usually agree with you.
a good example is like the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie. Like everybody was mad because like, why is Cloud such a whiny little bitch? And it's like, because you didn't play him as a whiny little bitch in Final Fantasy VII, but you could have. Like everybody picked him, like picked the kind of like joke, hard ass answers when you were playing the video game, and that's not how the creators wanted him to be. Cloud's a little emo boy. It's great.
I mean, like look at his hair.
Mm-hmm. He's got like fake spikes on his shoulder. If it doesn't yell hot topic, I don't know what does.
Yep.
I need an easy encounter for start of a dungeon. The paladin's missing the next session, so there will only be 3 players. I wanted to gradually get weakened. What kind of dungeon is it? And please don't go into a huge tirade. Like, is it an undead dungeon? Is it a goblin dungeon? Does it have a dragon at the end?
Slime?
What's that?
A slime dungeon?
A slime dungeon? Yeah, that'd be good. I've done 1 or 2 of those in my day. That's when I discovered players don't like having their weapons destroyed.
Does anyone?
Apparently not.
Yeah, so did some Googling. The last Borderlands game that came out was 2 years ago.
That was the Wonder...
New Tales.
New Tales?
Yep, New Tales from the Borderlands.
Interesting.
As a 5 out of 10 on Steam. But Steam is not a great gauge for
Yeah.
gauging video games.
And then a difficult boss at the end. So you're describing every dungeon ever. What's your theming? What's your choice? Like, yeah.
Kobolds.
Kobolds is a great theme. Yeah. Dungeon full of kobolds. You're describing a dungeon. So you're saying, I want a dungeon that's a dungeon and has a boss at the end. That's all dungeons. So what do you what is your idea? Or is that what you're lacking? You're lacking a theme. Because we can help with a theme too. It's an abandoned mine. Okay, that's good. With a monster formed entirely of miners' severed arms at the end. Why are there so many severed arms?
So then, and then is the implication some sort of undead?
Yeah.
Is there a curse involved?
Because maybe you have a whole bunch of undead dwarves that are missing their arms. And then that gives your players a little bit of insight to what's going on. Or you could have them... Sorry for being vague. I've never gone into a dungeon before in D&D, funnily enough. Yeah, like, you're in the right place. You just gotta figure out what you're doing. Because, like, if it's an underground dungeon, maybe there's some gelatinous cubes. Is it a wizard dungeon? Is it an abandoned dungeon? Is it a mine? Because a mine is not a dungeon, but they kind of run the same way. Is it a mine or a dungeon that people are supposed to be kept out of? Who are the last people in this mine?
Is it a dwarven mine? A human mine?
These are all good questions. It collected more arms. Why are there more arms to collect? That's my question.
Wait, where do the arms come from?
Yeah.
And why?
Why did the cultists summon a weird arm? Are there cultists in the mine? Like, that's a good question.
Or is this like a Godric the Grafted type of deal, where you just more arms equals more power?
Yeah, are the cultists collecting arms?
So, you know, we're not trashing. We're just asking questions.
Something that people don't get enough of when they're writing stories and developing game engines is just people asking questions. Like, that's the biggest... Lots of people want critique when really it's like, no, you haven't fully thought about what you're doing yet. So... yeah, don't take it as me saying what you're doing is bad. I'm just trying to make you think. If you can't answer your own questions, you haven't thought about it enough yet.
Axolotls have the dumbest little arms and legs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, what are the cultist goals? They just want to animate arms. Okay, so it was first a mine, then there were cultists. And then they gave it arms. So there were miners, and cultists killed all the miners and took their arms and grew a giant arm creature.
A gibbering mouth, but with hands instead of mouths.
Mm-hmm. That is what it sounds like.
We found a giant snake in the mine and decided it would be better if it had a bunch of arms, like a centipede.
Worse. That's worse than a human centipede.
But not as bad as a
got that
horse.
idea from a little comic. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was just making fun of Druid's weird centaur arm thing.
Oh, yep. Clang.
Yep. Flying is a perfect utilitarian all-terrain vehicle.
I want to disagree, because if it's arms or hands, then like it's not going to do well on rocks.
Well, it'll do better on rocks than it will in marsh.
Yeah, same. Any fine gravelly thing is just hands not good. Hands not good for.
Yeah, the little comic I was talking about, it was like a snake finds a genie lamp. Doesn't know it's a genie lamp, like kind of curls up around it. This rubbing the genie lamp. And the snake wishes it had limbs. And so he just has these like big long like
I think I've seen that.
legs and arms, and it's
Yeah.
just like, the genie's like, I think I've made a mistake.
Be specific.
When the genie tries to do it, a monkey's paw on their wish and it comes back to bite them in the ass.
Well, so if that's what you're going for, Oliver, your first encounter either needs to be A, cult related, so they know what's going on, or B, minor related, because minors aren't supposed to be there, but people are. Does that make sense? So, like, you have to tell your story with your encounters. Not directly, like, all of it, but, like, your players should be learning about something, right? So your encounter should definitely be involved with either A, the cultists, or B, the city. So, and if you don't want to do that, and it's been a while, just throw a cloaker at them. Like, generic mine stuff.
Love a cloaker.
Cloakers are great. Cloakers, bandits, kobolds could have moved in. That could be really funny. Maybe the kobolds worship the arm monster, so they're kobolds with like fake arms. That could be really funny. Okay, there's my demon cow. I think I'm done with that. Holy cakewalk. Is that an axolotl psionic? I think it's an axolotl water sorcerer?
Yeah, water elemental sorcerer. I haven't painted the water in yet. Give me a break, I'm having a hard art day.
Yeah, Oliver, I feel like as soon as an arm ripped the arm off of a miner, people would stop mining in that mine. Let alone a bunch of arms.
Yeah. Like it's really easy to say, well, people will still do it because they need the money. People care about their lives more than money, and they will ignore the most immediate threat.
Or they'll be forced to do it, and or demand more money. So those are both good options. So if you have someone who's forcing people to go in the mine to keep working, you might have a whole bunch of dwarves with like armor, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of fun things you can do with that. Like, I think it's a cool little hook, but you just got to figure out exactly what the story is, right? And whether it's maybe people are sneaking into the mine to like mine the gold or whatever minerals are there, knowing it's dangerous, and then the party comes across them and they want to fight them because they're not supposed to be there, right? Like, they don't have to kill them, but they're just like they can't be caught there, or they get ambushed, and then that is the introduction to your players, right? With, like I said, undead skeletons without arms would be really, I think, interesting, because then you're starting to get the vibe of like, why don't these skeletons have arms? That's super weird. Or other creatures that are bringing the arms, which could be kobolds, like I said. If you have kobolds or goblins that are worshiping this thing, maybe they're killing people and bringing it arms. So if your party goes into the dungeon, comes across a group of people who are being attacked by kobolds, there's your kobold encounter, right? Dwarven mithril miners unions disagree with labor conditions. Exactly. Elliot's got it.
You said armor. I just love like bunch of miners that have like bunch of like leather wrappings around their arms that have like nails sticking out on one side.
Yep. Spiked armor. 4. An emo-haired half-elf orc druid artificer holding a quarterstaff.
I love a
so
quarterstaff. So easy to draw.
Yeah, sounds like it. The DMMU demands hazard pay. Yeah. And like that's definitely an option too. If you want people that are in there. I think that's another way to do the encounter. What would people run into? They were in the mine. And that way you have an NPC that can kind of explain what the hell's going on.
The Lord of the Land says you're revolting. Yeah, well, the Lord of the Land's a piece of shit trying to force us to work in unsafe and unfair working conditions, and refuses to pay us what we're worth for our labor. So we're unionizing.
Oh Lord, the peasants are revolting. Yes, they are.
The thing about that, like, the thing that's hardest to keep in mind, surprisingly, is to remember that people are actually, like, the peasants, the uneducated, people are not actually stupid. Most people have roughly the same amount of intelligence, and are going to react to situations in ways that benefit them the most.
Yes.
I hated Elden Ring. I think the light writing was lazy. Just gonna put that out there. Specifically the arm guy. Specifically Godric the Grafted.
Care to go and care to elaborate?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll definitely elaborate. So, like, I really liked meeting the guy, the one-armed guy that kind of, like, betrays you the entire way through the first castle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't catch that the first time I played through that part of the game.
Yeah, he even steals your runes.
Yeah.
If you die.
So, like, I liked that aspect of it, but, like, the whole universe being based around that, where it's just like, oh, time to go give one of my arms to the king. It's like, everybody in this universe is, one, immortal, and two, like, regenerative. So why is everybody trying to steal everybody else's arms? It doesn't make any sense. Right, well, okay, yeah. But, like, they also built the weird grafted things, right?
Yeah.
And then the soul girl that you can save to upgrade your crap, like, she's just like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go there and just get chopped up and it's cool. It's like, why would anybody be cool with this if everything is, one, shit, and two, not meaningful anymore? Yeah. Like, it just, the universe they're in and the, I want to say tutelage, maybe that's not right, fealty to the grafted guy just doesn't make sense to me.
So, I'm not. How can I say this without coming off as an asshole?
Just come off as an asshole.
I think you're wrong on your maybe understanding on who Godric is.
Okay.
So, also, that girl, she isn't from the Lands Between. She shows up with a bunch of tarnished. She's like you. So she's a normal human being.
But wasn't she sent there specifically to go and become one of the weird multi-armed creatures in the castle?
No. So she shows up, and her troop gets captured. And she's the only one who gets left, and she kind of is in a super depressed mood. And it's like, well, I guess I'll go join them if they're all going to be like this, so I might as well become part of them because I don't want to be alone anymore.
See, I thought her intent was to go there and just give up her legs because that's what she was supposed to do. So maybe I did misunderstand that. Propaganda and faith, given that once Roderick finds out what it really is, she backs off entirely.
Yeah. Because, like, Godric is small potatoes compared to anyone else. He's
right.
He's described as the runt of the litter. He is barely important. And so, like, he takes over that castle, and because he's the weakest of the demigods, he tries to gain as much power as he can, and for him, that's like...
grafting. Stealing it from other people.
Yeah, basically. He is stealing the strength of other people. And, because that's the only area that, like, grafting really takes place. You do find, like, grafted scions, like, in other places, but, like, they're all like made in his castle.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
And yeah, because I don't know if you notice, like after you get away from Lingrave, where he is, or Stormvale, like multi-armed people kind of stop being a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It could have been such that a miner was an enemy of the cultist who ended up being cursed. Well, so you say it could have been. It's your story. Make a choice. like, choose that. Choose that. Like, that's the thing.
Yep. So the anytime you're making something, you need to start making choices so that then you can the choices you make after that can be informed.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing until you start to establish what you're doing.
Once again, I also don't understand how. Yeah, I mean, like a rock could fall on you and crush your arm.
I'm pretty sure they went to get grafted in an effort to gain strength, not realizing it's just going towards some dickhead king. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I thought. Like, it felt to me more like all of the people were going there and maybe didn't realize they were getting turned into these monsters, but then she did, and I was like, so don't go? and then the guy that kept, like, picking on you was just hated Godric anyways. And it's like, yeah, just like, I don't know. I don't like it. I do think you're right. Like the way you're describing it makes more sense. But I struggled with that. I struggled with that because it didn't make sense to me the first time I played through it. And that is going to hit your players real hard if they kind of run into the same thing. So it's good to like really make those decisions and then make them overt in a way where you can either explain it through them exploring the cave or have somebody tell them, right? So
Yeah.
maybe it's not even an arm. Maybe it's the guy, right? Like they cursed a guy and he just kept collecting arms. But if you want it to be just an arm, that's fine. And that's just your choice and you just do it, right?
I also want to suggest that you don't actually have to you don't need to make this complicated or exceptionally unique.
Yeah.
You can just do something really run of the mill and then just change one or two things, make one or two things uniquely yours, right?
Bear witness.
If you're GMing, you're like building off of tropes, building off of established lore is really the way to go, because usually a GM does not have the time or the energy to put into writing a whole fucking novel for their players to live in, which is something you have to do if you're trying to be wholly original.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to be original, you're basically writing a book.
Yeah. So just take it easy. And yeah, do yourself a favor and keep it simple, stupid. I think one of my favorite things that helps me out a lot is to remind myself that more isn't always better. It's usually just more.
Yeah.
And remember that as a GM, most of what you make, your players, unless you're making stuff really overt, your players are probably going to miss most of it.
Yep.
So don't do more work than you have to.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making a creature that just is cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if your players are going to start asking questions like, what the hell was that? Where did that come from? What does that mean? Like, those things kind of matter. So write as much as you need to satiate your players and then be happy with it. I think is kind of a good way to look at it. Because you keep saying like, oh yeah, they made this arm creature to serve them. To what end? Why did they need an arm servant? Lots of ramifications can come in there.
So were the maybe Corvus can answer this. The armed creatures, not Godric. Were those like the first attempts of him trying to graft stuff? Because it seems to. Go ahead.
I don't know. So there's like two groups of armed creatures. You got the grafted scions, which are like people that have had arms and bodies grafted onto them. That's the first boss that kills you in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because you're right outside Godric's castle.
I'm talking more about like these fuckers, the ones with the shields.
The things
and the
that come
legs.
out of the ground.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, the ones with the shields are the grafted scions.
Oh.
Because so there's grafted scions that have the shields and the weird like thin rapier-like swords.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. So those were made by Godric. And then you had the Revenants. Noble Revenants, which are like... They're undead. They're kind of in their own category.
Maybe I don't remember
I think
those.
they're like kings or something that got fused together.
Okay.
In death? I don't know. I don't know much about those.
That's the type of thing that kind of bothers me is about Elden Ring specifically. Is I think there's too much of that. That sort of thing. Like there's basically nothing normal, so everything is so fucked up that basically nothing is fucked up.
Even wildlife is kind of weird.
Yeah,
because you got like giant rune bears.
Ooh, I saw a thing about that. There was someone was talking about the dragon scales.
Mm-hmm.
And that like to become a dragon, one of the dragon like disciple things, you have to consume dragon hearts. And they were suggesting that the bears either had defeated dragons because they have like the weird chest spike scale things and the runes, which the dragons had the runes. And then apparently somebody found, this is all hearsay, found one of the pre-trial rooms, like that were just for testing. One of the bears dropped a dragon heart, and it was like, oh, interesting. So that's kind of a cool concept.
I think in the context of the bears, I think it's because they probably ate a dead dragon.
Probably. That would be my guess. And then that slowly turns you into a dragon if you keep eating dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, the lava dragons, the lava worms. That's, like, what they turn into. Because there's a big, huge one in the snowy region called Theodorix, and he was a troll.
Okay.
He was a dragon hunter.
Interesting. I'm doing a setup for a new campaign that's literally dungeon. That's a literal dungeon, so I have time to figure out all my definites yet. Haven't figured out my definites yet, but I really want an ally to exist from the start for information. That's a good way to do it. Definitely having a knowledgeable NPC is good. Treasure hunters are good. People that like have been in there many times. Could just be someone they hire. Like, hey, there's gonna be lots of traps. You know, you need to come with you. Could be someone who could betray them. They're pretty suspicious of that, but it could be fun. Lots of ideas. And doing the feasibly, like, literally nobody knows what this thing is. It's just there. You can do that. It's be careful that your players might want more information. And that can become a red herring that they get stuck up on. So it's good to at least think about things. If the writer doesn't know what they're doing, it can cause problems later.
The Harry Potter universe.
Yeah. Now that I rethink my plan, I'll just have the guy be a memory that they are starting at the top of a dungeon, checking on what's going on inside. Like they're going to see a memory of this thing, of a guy doing it. That could be kind of interesting. I'm a big fan of the Save Me Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Because then you don't get to interrogate them. You just have information that you have to disseminate.
an automatic magic mouth or minor illusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, Drew, the reason why everything in Dark Souls and Elden Ring is always crazy is because the guy who makes them loves Berserk, and specifically loves Berserk after everything hits the fan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That
What
makes
if the
sense.
world
Like,
goes to total shit, but nobody can die? It's like, great.
yeah.
Great.
I understand it. I also respect a lot of it, but also, it's a lot.
I will say,
Just is
out
a
of the
lot.
various FromSoft games, I do prefer Elden Ring over the others because it's like I understand. For some reason, I understand this story a bit better than the others.
Well, this one actually has a narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which-
It was actually written by a professional writer.
Yeah. It's debatable.
He has published novels that many people have written. So,
Yeah, but I don't know how much he actually wrote. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah, he has stated several times he did not write a lot. He wrote like a bit of background.
he picked the
Oh.
5 names to all be exactly the same because that's what he fucking loves to do, and it drives me crazy. Rhaegar, son of Rogar, son of Rhaegain. It's like, stop it. Stop what you're doing.
Kind of Rogaine.
It's
so
just
then
like,
did he have a ghostwriter?
I think he basically consulted on the writing of the game, as far as I was aware.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about his writing of
Game of Thrones? No, like he's
Game of
fine.
Thrones.
Yeah, no, I've read all the Game of Thrones books. Like, I like his writing, but like I think they just slapped it on Elden Ring for name recognition.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
Because he said, like, in an interview one day, that, like, all he wrote for Elden Ring was, like, some of the history, background stuff for it.
Well, I mean, it's a video game. I think that's probably all they needed.
Yeah.
That's all I would have expected. Look at these eyes. Does this look like the face of Mercy?
Yes.
The more I look at this axolotl that I got up here for reference, the more I think these are horrible eldritch creatures.
See, I could see the cave painting making sense if like goblins or kobolds were worshiping this thing, but it doesn't make a lot of sense that an arm creature would paint its own growth.
Yeah.
You could do it a different way of just like, how would you do that? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. People wouldn't read into if all of a sudden there were more and more and more and more handprints on the walls, because it would just look like it just kept coming back, right? You could probably do that. Like the players keep finding like bloody or muddy handprints, but then the handprints keep getting like, you find like, ooh, this is like an orc hand. These are all different sizes. What's going on here? That could be fun. I like it. I like the idea of having this creature being kind of like a mystery. Them trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I think that could be a lot of fun.
It's
To my
reminding me a
understanding,
little bit of can't even remember what the game is, but it's a small indie game where you're the eldritch horror flesh wad.
oh, you're right. Yeah, the restream's not working today. Hold on a second. Oh, I understand what happened. Okay. Thank you, by the way, Green Liquid. I appreciate that. I'm a fan of the Cthulhian lore, and I'm not going to add a bunch of horror for this PF2 campaign. You might as well. Like, it's designed for it.
Yeah.
I found the perfect creature. Too bad it's only in Pathfinder right now.
Blood painter. Interesting.
You talking about the handprints just made me think of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just turn that off for today. To my understanding, he wrote everything up to the shattering. After that, Miyazaki took over. Okay. Maybe the wall that painted lore itself.
Hayao Miyazaki would never be involved in a blood poem. The man is anti-war.
That does indeed look like what you're talking about. The limb taker. I had a friend do a campaign kind of like this, but he was using a skin stitcher, which just like steals people's skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are scary.
What's the is it animate flesh? It's literally just loose skin.
Yeah, and if it finds a body or a skeleton, it can wrap itself around it and become a zombie.
Yeah.
I love those things. I don't know if I've thrown those at you guys yet. I might have.
I don't remember.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. I have run into them and played with them in first edition.
One of these days, I'll have you guys run the Ashfont campaign in totality, and there's some in there. I really broke Kevin's player group when they let me DM for a little bit, because Kevin's got a very different style than I do. He does a little more like political intrigue and like makes people think about like local politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, we're going in a dungeon and you're gonna fight some skin. And they weren't prepared. What is PF2E?
Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Yeah, Pathfinder 2nd edition. Not does what is. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. I like Elder Scrolls IRC. That's how they worked. I don't know what Pony Fortress 2 is.
Me neither. I'm also afraid to ask.
It's Team Fortress, but with My Little Pony.
Oh yeah? That makes sense.
Oh.
That seems like something they would do.
Yep.
I am legit just throwing stuff at a wall. Have no idea.
It sounds legit.
I mean, Pathfinder 2nd edition is now going to let you be a magical girl.
They've been doing that for a while.
No, I mean, like, there's a legit archetype where you're like a Sailor Moon.
Gotcha.
They built a literal Sailor Moon class.
That's great.
Called
It is, actually.
Star Sentinel.
Yep. That's great. I'm looking at the Sandy Peterson's book, the one Legendary Game Cthulhu Monsters. Interesting. We haven't seen that one. I don't think we see the drawings correctly. Why not? We got an axolotl on the right, and we got an orc guy on the left. What do you guys see?
I see half elf, half orc on the left, and an axolotl water person on the right.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I don't see.
I'm only looking in YouTube.
Yeah, Green Liquid. Let me know what you're seeing.
I can't. Yeah, I can't vouch for Twitch, but it looks correct to me.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitch today.
Oh.
Twitch has spurned me, so I'm taking a break from Twitch.
Well, they're lost.
Yep. Send me my tax returns, dang it. Or my tax papers.
Your W-2s,
Yeah.
or whatever they're called.
Need to make sure the government knows about the $3.12
Right.
last year.
We don't see any changes to the images. The orc guy is not finished yet. I'm still working on the orc guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking.
And I'm just doing detail work on the axolotl, so
Yeah.
that you're not going to see a lot of.
Let me see. Does that do anything? Just looking at the
I
chat
see
more
it.
and more. Yeah, I am.
I am currently putting more fronds on the gills of the axolotl. If you can't see it, then say something.
If it's not updating,
I see it.
do you have any elephant puns? I don't. I'm gonna say Vusi, welcome in, because I don't want to say your name accidentally the wrong way. Green Liquid, no problem. We have had people tell us like, "Hey, the chat's frozen," and it's like, not us. Sometimes you just gotta restart the stream and stuff. So.
Or people just not talking. That's always the thing.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not great at entertaining unless there's a conversation going.
I hope you guys can hear Druid today. That would be really embarrassing.
That would be very funny, actually.
Yeah. We've done that in the past too.
Yeah, where me and Druid are talking for like probably almost an hour, and
I don't have any elephant puns, oddly enough. Yep.
reap pun.
Here, who? Druid is drawing the axolotl. I'm drawing the orc. Corvus is also in the Discord with us, hanging out. I've lost my train of thought.
I assume we can be heard because
Yeah.
Burning was disgusting us.
That's true too.
So.
What was I doing? Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and roll some dice. We're gonna draw another suggestion here.
Sounds good.
2. Ugh. A human-shaped monstrosity formed of many arms, each wielding a sword. I feel like this is a theme today. I assume this is Oliver's.
It is.
The dice gods want me to participate in this take this the correct way. Horrific suggestion. Monstrous suggestion, I guess. Maybe that's a better way. What's the start? The Starlit Sentinel. What's that coming out in?
So that's coming out in the new Tian Sha book,
Okay.
or books. So I think that one will be coming out in the player book, which comes out later, like
Gotcha.
towards the end of this year.
I think it'd be funny if you put a hat on the axolotl.
I do need to put something on the axolotl to indicate that it's not just a normal axolotl. I was thinking about jewelry, but was also nervous about that because, like, anything I put on this axolotl is just going to look like a cock ring, basically. So...
People see what they want, you know?
I mean, now I would see it that way.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Just give it a bubble around its head.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually use... Maybe I'll give it a bunch of tattoos. I don't know. How do you guys usually, like, style your sorcerers?
Drapery. Lots of drapery. They're essentially
Yeah,
clerics, but with less collar.
Yeah, I, like...
I'm serious.
With definitely richer clothes. Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. That's what I usually do as well.
Cleric,
But
sorcerer, barbarian.
however,
Feel sorry for whoever should draw this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to draw a lot of hands. Player Court to July, and next month Monster Court. And ironically, on my aging update. Nice. I'm excited. I want to see the new monster book. That'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's coming out next.
Yeah.
So you could add, I don't know, clams or something, because it is like a deep sea diver thing.
It's true. The suggestion did say deep sea diver.
yeah.
which is not where axolotls live and would kill them, but that's fine.
It's magical axolotl.
True.
We can
And
give it a little bit of leeway.
necklace of coral branches.
This just makes me think of this arm monster. Makes me think of the island. Is that what it was called? The forest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you, game.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Imagine if you got lost in the woods on a tropical island covered with arms. Arm cannibals. Yep.
Yep.
Didn't ask for it. Didn't want it. But here we are. It exists. This is essentially like Thing, but the Hellscape version. It does feel very much like a gibbering mouther.
Which is another one of my favorite monsters.
Was it Labyrinth with the weird hand puppet face?
Yeah, because she
And
falls into a hole, and the entire thing is lined with hands.
It just
Air quotes, helping hands.
gotcha. Because I've watched Spy Kids. I haven't seen any of the Spy Kids.
I think I watched 1 and 2.
How do you submit drawing ideas? So as long as they're following the rules, you can submit them here on the chat, or you can put them in the community post before the streams. So. What is this, Corvus?
From Chainsaw Man.
I still haven't watched that. I should probably watch it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
It's very gratuitous in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have specifically avoided it because as much as people have claimed it to be very well written, little more body horror than I really want to engage with.
Yeah. What's kind of crazy is the guy who wrote it used to work as a lawyer in DC.
Weird.
That's not the type of person I would expect to be writing manga.
Yeah. I mean, he was Japanese, but like I think he eventually moved back. People reading it is like, who hurt you, dude?
The American legal system. Go figure.
Better than some legal systems. Just saying.
100% true.
Oh yeah, our problem is bureaucracy,
Yeah.
not the fundamentals.
Because remember, still on the topic of anime and law. I saw someone talking about
Objection.
no, Death Note,
Oh yeah.
and how
Yeah.
in the beginning he's like, people was like, oh, he's killing all the criminals. I'm like, and someone pointed out, like, in Japan, when you're taken to court, you're automatically assumed guilty. It's your job to prove that you're innocent. Unlike here, where you're assumed innocent, and it's up to the prosecution to prove that you're guilty. So it's the inverse, and so it's like he probably just killed a bunch of innocent people.
Didn't he see? I mean, I can't stand that show.
Me
Such
neither.
an such edgelord propaganda.
Yeah.
I did actually watch.
I watched all of it. I watched the whole thing.
Who did it?
I did not. I could only manage. When I watched it, I had a very specific rule where if I was going to watch something, I needed to watch at least 3 episodes. in order to accurately judge it, because
yeah.
pilots are good and interesting, but like I want to get an idea of how a show's going to develop. I think I watched 4 episodes of Death Note, and then I was like, I absolutely cannot. My initial assessment of this was correct. This is painful.
I really like the concept, and like I think it's like a really cool hook for like a horror movie. But you could have literally just like watched the first 2 episodes and then the last episode, and it's exactly the same. Everything in between is just circle jerking, like
drama,
just one upping each other
drama.
over and over and over and over and over again. It's just like, I don't care. He said, no, I said, and then I thought, then he knew, then I knew, and it's like, I'm done. Stop.
Yep.
Goblin that knows how to float pickles with psychic powers and mixing up weapons with one of the pickles, I guess. So I could, that's a good base. Generally, I would just say go with the Goblin Pickle Psionic. I'll put it on the list if you want, unless you have something else. But I generally ask people not to do the like, and this is exactly what they're doing, because then it's just constricting and getting bogged down a bunch of time. But I can put that on the list if you want. Give him a break from all the horror. My idea is to make a heavy from Team Fortress 2 into a unicorn? Oh. So that breaks the fan art rules. What are beefy arms? I read beanie arms, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Beanie Baby arms?
Yeah, just little tiny floofs of cloth. I really hate this, and I'll tell you why I hate this. This creature is under the assumption of having every arm be severed at the shoulder, and that doesn't feel proper to me. So I think what I need to do is I need to go back in and like just make an amalgamation of garbage, like Akira style body garbage here. That's just hands, just a whole bunch of hands.
Oh,
like Full Metal Alchemist style here. Maybe the hands are melting into the other pieces.
Salvador Dali, but with hands.
Yep. I mean, shorten it, but I was only placing that as a sort of example I've seen here in chat a while ago. Gotcha. Okay. About a unicorn with beefy arms, which is embodiment of big bald Russian guy with a large gut. See, this is the problem with the everything is a mimic. If you try hard enough, don't try. Don't just
Everything is heavy.
Just give me a real suggestion, please. It's like something you want to see as a D&D character. There's definitely like a want for people to like come up with really crazy things for me to draw. Like that's definitely something we've had from time to time. It's just like I'm totally fine just drawing normal stuff. Like I want to draw people's characters. This isn't a challenge for me. It's just it's a way for me to give cool art to the followers and the community. So if you don't have an idea or something that you'd like, you don't have to give a suggestion for me, right? I'd prefer you didn't suggest something so that people that do want some art get it, if that makes sense.
And we have plenty of suggestions.
Yeah.
So you don't need to fill up space.
Yep, we got more than enough.
even if we only had 2, that would probably be enough because I can take one drawing suggestion and go the entire 3 hours.
I like the multi-arm being a bit stronger than the Charask. I mean, we could just give it Charask arms. Essentially, what you've made is a Necrocraft. Just so just as a heads up, like this is not the first multi-limbed thing that I've made like this. Necrocrafts are awesome, except the last one I drew had a T-Rex for an arm and a Triceratops head because we were fighting a lot of dinosaurs, and so Kevin the Necromancer kept using dinosaur bodies to make it. So it cannot be a character that is copywritten turned into another character. Is that correct? Right. That's what I mean by no fan art. Because we had a lot of people just like half elf, whatever, but it's Batman, and it's just like I don't want to draw Batman anymore. I'm like, let's stop drawing Batman.
Yeah. Draw Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy, but not Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy.
So when did you notice you had the wrong date on the community post? I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't. So. The date's just there so people don't post on last week's.
Community post was posted like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it was
1 day ago.
I posted it on Monday while I was in the car. So it was kind of a half measure because I realized I had to do it. But I didn't have my normal computer stuff to work with. Find really fat purple man. It's 5 feet tall with a giant scythe. If you want to suggest a human monk rogue with a bat costume, that might work. Yeah, I think that's okay. The problem is, like I said, once again, people like trying to finagle things, and it's like the more you push, the more I will push back and just not do it. So, because I don't like being bullied,
or manipulated.
Yeah. Green liquid. Fine. You want a really fat purple man with 5 feet tall giant scythe. Does that have a class?
Or a race?
Is fat purple man the race?
Could be an obese ettercap.
That would work. Somebody used to come in here and just demand that I draw them Obama until I blocked them. So there are limits to my patience.
Or Wyoming.
I think that was the same person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow the rules and be cool. That's all I ask. Blood hunter. A blood hunter. Okay. Class. What is a fat purple man? Is he human? Why are they purple? That's just curiosity. That doesn't actually matter. But
Are they a mutagen? Is that why they're purple?
mm-hmm. It's less of a manipulation and more about a general interest in what you can do with the request. Yeah, and then once again, like that's the thing. Like this isn't for me to like get better at drawing. This is for me to give back to the community. So I'd rather do that. Draw people's characters. I want OCs. I want people's characters to draw. Anything gets crazy on President's Day, go on a bender in honor of USS Green. Oh, did I? No, I was in the car the entire day. Indestructible, hello, welcome in everybody. How goes? How was your stream today?
I'm loving your hecatoncheires here.
Head catoncheries, what is that?
Hecatoncheires. They're
To the sword?
from Greek mythology. They mean like 100-handers.
Gotcha. Interesting. A Grimace Reaper. That's kind of what it sounds like. Aasimar, is that a race? Yeah, that works. Purple Aasimar. Done. Put it on the list. I will put it on the list. Oh, my mouse just disappeared. Better go write some combat contenders. Yeah, no problem. Go check it out. Have fun. Let me know how it goes. I saw Indestructible pop in here. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Rookzer0. We draw weird monster creatures that people suggest. And yeah, I hope your stream went well. If you have to run off and take care of yourself, feel free to do so. Yeah, bringing in the crew. Hello, hello, hello. Trying to remember how to... there we go. That's what I want. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Let me give you a quick shout out here. Yeah. Everyone go check out Indestructible. How goes the Vagabond? Did you make anything cool today? Sorry about the arm creature. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's just it's hard to do. This one's gonna take a little more time because I want to actually make this look like hands. Like that's the trick. The trick is it's got to look like hands. So we're gonna draw some fingers in here. That's right. I'm the only artist on the internet that's willing to draw 1,000 hands. That's not true. There's lots of artists.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's not true.
That's what we call a lie. A boastful lie. Did a whole write-up for an NPC stat block today, working on some final polishing points. Nice, that's awesome. Druid, I love your Strawberry Starburst Axolotl so much. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Druid's putting me to shame. I'm drawing horrific things over here. So I apologize.
I've been in like hardcore painter mode all week and been hard. I'm clearly not gonna get out of that mode, right? But like this is where we're at. Also, I've just realized that I can make this look like a sorcerer by giving them an Ioun stone.
Nice. That's a good choice. That is a good choice. We are doing the viewer suggestion today. So where's my biblically accurate ASMR? I mean, is that what you suggested this week? Because people have done that many times. Oh, Corvus, that's a much better way. I should have drawn it like that. Just giving it a person with 1,000 arms. That would have been way better.
Sorry, I didn't think of it until like
that's all right.
a few minutes ago.
That's all right. Yeah, sorry, everybody. So we are doing the viewer suggestion. If you do want to suggest a D&D character, a Pathfinder character, a Vagabond character to draw, just give it to me in a sentence. Race, class, something interesting about them, and then, yeah, we'll put it on the list, and hopefully draw it. We let the dice gods decide what we draw. What is happening here? Why can't I... There we go. For some reason, it keeps making it white. There we go. Yeah, Oliver today suggested a horrific arm creature. So we're drawing it as a gibbering mouther, but with hands.
It's not really a bad thing. It's led us through some interesting conversations.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps that we talked about it beforehand. No pun intended. But like, I think if I had just drawn this without any context, I would have been very confused. So I'm kind of glad that we were able to do that. Yeah. Race and class, race, arms, class, grapple. Yeah. Another thing about my character, they used to love Five Nights at Freddy's so much, but now they despise it. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if I can draw that. I love characters with hidden uncontrollable power. Axiom, welcome in. Hello, hello. Yeah, no problem, Indestructible. Thank you for bringing your community. Welcome in, everybody. If you have a hand phobia, I do apologize. That's my bad, but it is what it is.
Technically it's Oliver's bad.
Yeah, yep.
Blame Oliver.
I'm gonna finish.
It's Oliver's fault.
Finish this up real quick, and then we'll get on to the next one. If you'd like to make a suggestion, please feel free to do so in chat, and I will put it to the list before the next roll of the dice. There's a guy from My Hero Academia that's just like is covered in hands. That dude's pretty cool. I think he's an asshole and a bad guy, but I like his design. I'm jazzed if my basic bugbear brute gets drawn out. Okay, I think it's on the list. Handboy's approaching Elden Ring mini boss vibes. Yeah. AJ Pickett, hello, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Just joined from Indestructible Waste Channels. What's the agenda? We are doing the viewer suggestion today. So we are drawing characters and suggestions from people in chat. So if you have a suggestion, please feel free to add it into the chat here. 1-sentence descriptions, no fan art, no mimics. Yeah, we'll put it on the list, and if the dice gods deem it so, we will draw it. That's our plan.
Any ttrpg.
Any TT, yeah, anyone. Doesn't have to be D&D, doesn't have to be Pathfinder. It can be Vagabond, it can be Cyberpunk.
But if it's one we're likely to know what it is, actually, you're probably going to get a better result.
The arm thing is like an Opti? I don't know. Is it? I'm honestly not sure. So just more arms things? Yeah, exactly. Gift ring mouthers are terrifying to me as a player and a DM. I'm not really sure what to do with them. You find a giant pile of gooey people parts in a pile. Ugh. You know what? The dungeon just burns down, and everybody go home. I'm definitely liking this more with more hands. I think it definitely needed to be mostly hands instead of limbs. Does that make sense?
Mm.
It's just as, if not more, disturbing, but I think it's more legible as a thing, too. The hands from Labyrinth. That's what I was going for, yeah. I want to make the face with the hands. Adoptee is one of my favorite Dungeon Dad videos. Nice, okay. I've not seen a lot of Dungeon Dad stuff. I should definitely go check them out.
Seen a couple of his videos. I've got a lot of respect for him. There are some like sensational, some D&D YouTubers that are only out for the sensationalism.
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dads does not strike me as one of those type of streamers.
They just love playing the
creators.
D&D.
Yeah,
That's good.
which I respect.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. One magic axolotl water sorcerer.
I dig it. That was an hour and a half, just so you know. As a note.
I am acutely aware.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want you to keep track.
Yep. Yeah, I'll sign it.
Do it. If you guys are lucky enough, Druid will draw you a full commission, apparently. Of lovely, lovely art.
It's always up to the dice gods.
Yep. Can you please let me know when you draw my idea? Okay. So essentially, we roll dice and we go from there. So if it gets rolled and picked, then we'll read it out. We'll read it out for you. We should have a community movie night and watch Pan's Labyrinth on the Discord. That could be fun. I still have not quite figured out how to do that kind of stuff with the Discord.
Isn't Pan's Labyrinth kind of heavy for this type?
I mean, it's got Nazis and mandrakes, so it's kind of it's a little bit. It's a little bit
The
heavy.
murder of a child.
Yeah.
Are they Nazis or just
Oh yeah.
Spanish fascists?
I believe they're Spanish fascists.
Sorry.
Because it's
Franco.
I believe it's set in the Spanish Civil War.
The legs are actually hands holding hands. Yeah, that was what I was going for. The artist could maybe be wielding arms like weapons. Use fingers of a giant as a giant club, maybe. That could be interesting. That's an Elden Ring thing for sure. I looked for that
stupid.
weapon, but I didn't want to like look it up and see where to get it. So
I don't think I ever got it either. I particularly didn't want it.
All right, Druid.
All right.
You ready?
Yep. I'm ready. Still a D20?
Yeah, we have a few less than that though, so
Okay, well.
I'll let you know.
16.
Yeah, reroll.
Okay. Cool.
Del Toro does make good movies. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. 9.
A medieval blended with post-apocalyptic male
Okay.
magic wand shopkeeper. So post-apocalyptic wand shopkeep.
Okay.
So
No race or species?
Nope. I am assuming. I think this is probably Bry's. So I would guess human.
Okay.
Bry usually goes human or
bear.
gremlins or or bears. So pick human, bear, or gremlin, and I think you'll be right on point. This is actually just pretty good practice for just drawing lots of hands.
Yeah. Resident Evil trader with a
Bandolier of
bandolier
wands.
of wands. That's not a bad idea,
That's pretty
Cosmic.
good, yeah. Is there a maximum limit of commissions you can put in? One per week. Yeah.
1 per week, yeah.
Yep.
We do this every Wednesday, usually also Friday.
Yeah, which might start taking a back seat for a little while, but we'll do it this Friday for sure. Life.
Month away.
Yep. Pengu.
Ooh. Damn it, I've got an idea for an entire scene. Am I gonna paint an entire scene?
Man, that's up to
Don't do
you.
it.
The Boglodyte from Men in Black 3 was a kind of monster made of clawed fingers. Oh man, I don't remember that at all.
Me neither.
I need references.
Black 3.
It was good. Oh, wait. That's the one where he goes back in time, right? Maybe I haven't seen 3.
Yep.
I liked 2.
Yeah, 3 is where he goes back in time.
Okay, I've seen parts of 3. I've not seen all of it, though. I was only watching it for Tommy Lee Jones.
I think I only watched the first one because of Will Smith.
Yep. He's good. Sugar in water. Yeah, such a good movie. It's a good movie. As cheesy and weird as it is, I enjoy it. I probably don't need the third arm because now it just looks weird. I think we're probably
Yeah.
gonna just.
You ever pulled wings off a fly? You ever seen a fly get even?
Such a weird movie. It's so good. How can you even draw those? I can't even draw like simple things. Practice. Lots and lots and lots of practice.
Yep. Practice and study. And more practice and more study.
Mm-hmm. Boris the Animal. And the thing of the movie, the ritual, kind of like an eldritch elk? Yeah, okay. The horns are made from blooming hands. I do think I remember that.
Oh. Yeah. I've not watched it, but I've seen like pictures and gifs of it wandering around.
For which movie?
The ritual.
The Ritual. Okay.
My preferred spooky elk monster is the regal ancestor in Elden Ring, because it's not that spooky.
What movie was... There was a movie that, I don't know, it was about weird aliens infecting an area. I think Natalie Portman was in it. Lars hyped it up, and he told us the story, and he basically told us the whole plot of the movie. And I was like, whoa, that sounds spooky. And so I watched it, and when I watched it, I was like, this was stupid. Like, the movie was bad. The way Lars told it was really good. So...
Maybe Lars should rewrite it.
Yeah.
Produce it.
Things are always better in your head.
What was it called?
I can't remember. I'll have to remember.
Aliens infecting an area.
Yeah, like the government goes in because there's like this bubble, and everything that goes inside of it just dies, and it's horrible.
Oh, I vaguely remember. For a moment, I thought, like, was he hyping up evolution? Because I personally love evolution.
Evolution's great. That has David Duchovny in it.
Cheesy.
Love it. Love it. Annihilation. Yeah, I think it was Annihilation. It was okay. It was an okay movie, but Lars made it sound way better than it was. The language is just ninja jitsu hand signs. Yeah, exactly. Drawing a chest druid? What is this? I guess the wand merchant. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm building out the scene. It's not going to get as much detail as the axolotl, but I'm building out a scene.
Give him a goblin chopper over here. A horse cleaver, if you will.
Horse chopper.
I think it's dog slicer and horse chopper. I think you're right. Triple H.
There's also the spoon gun.
The spoon gun.
Yep.
Bars could hire it for the sake of extra loud applause. That would be pretty funny.
Turtle's got a spoon gun.
Okay.
There's also the fling flincer.
Are these goblin weapons?
Yeah.
Okay. Stitch
Gun
together a whole heap
specifically.
of crawling claws. Yeah. I mean, this, like I said, this is essentially a necrocraft, and I think you could make a really good necrocraft out of just hands. Like, that's next level necromancy garbage. Of just like, hey, what if I only animated the hands? It's like, don't do that. Just don't do it. No, I've decided. Kevin the Necromancer also had his familiar was his own hand. And so he would just like pop it off and throw it and have it go do stuff for him. That was pretty great.
That's pretty awesome. Wasn't Kevin the Necromancer also like just a head on a hand? A skull on a hand for a while?
So at one point, Kevin the Necromancer, we were playing Pathfinder, and he was like, I don't want to play a good character, but everyone else does. So I'm going to make it to where I have like a contract with you guys that I have to fulfill. And so that way you guys can kind of like keep me in line. And then he spent the entire game trying to steal that back. And he eventually did and ran off. And I was like, okay, Kevin's not in this campaign anymore. And then like a few months later, he's like, I wouldn't mind playing some Pathfinder with you guys. I'm like, okay, well, how do we want to do that? And he's like, I can't really dedicate the time. I might have to like leave and stuff. And so we just brought him back into the game as a severed head. And so they just had him in a bag, and whenever he was around, he would like pop out and talk to him and do stuff. And he could like cast spells with his mouth and stuff. It was pretty funny. But yeah, he eventually got his body back. It's fine. Wands of Slicing is a lightsaber. Yeah, exactly. Whoever made the Bagman, whoever came up with the concept of the Bagman, and they combined it with the merchant, I applaud them. The Bagman is pretty creepy. I had a lot of people ask me to draw him back in the day.
Yeah.
And
I remember getting a drawing prompt for that. Actually, still have that. I like that drawing.
Okay. I think I'm about done here. I don't know what else I'm going to do except just fiddly add more arm parts. feel like there should just be fingers kind of all over the place. Blah. Yeah, 2 types of necromancers you don't want to run into. People that animate dinosaurs and people that only animate hands. Nothing good can come from these. Nothing good. Okay. I'm going to roll the dice for the next one. Here we go. Here we go! This is the weirdest, one of the weirdest things I think I've ever drawn. You can always throw me more hands. Dang it. I need to start rolling a smaller die, is what I need to do. Natural 1. A female rune knight, Knoll, wearing a tower shield in one hand and a flaming shackle, fire rune, in the other. All right.
I dig it.
I dig it. It is good. Probably stay red here. You should have spider climb. Oh, 100%. I would give that thing a climb speed so fast. There are much worse things that make Flexi Golem with. Flexi Golem. Yeah, I mean, the Necrocraft rules are pretty cool. I dig them. I dig them. Now I have to remember what gnolls look like, which is always the problem. I'd like to draw a hyena, please. I want to say round ears, but then I just accidentally make a capybara every time. Flesh golem. Flexi golem sounds like a euphemism for flex. Now I'm saying it for flesh golem. Gnolls have kind of short faces, I think. I think that's what makes them look gnoll-like.
And getting you some references.
Thank you.
They just have weird, blocky, but also super round mouths.
I'm going to do something a little more... If she's a knight, she's got to have some armor. Let's just have a really weird posture. I like the idea if she's got this flaming shackle, that it should just be like hanging off of her wrist. And then this side will have the shield, I think. Wish there were werewolves in Baldur's Gate 3. That'd be interesting. I bet they'll add that with the expansion. Then again, the shape-shifting kind of broke the game, so who knows what they'll do. Nope, I've made a tiny, tiny puppy man.
I mean, you say the shapeshifting kind of broke the game, as if Druid Wild Shape didn't break 5e a little bit.
A little bit. What do gnolls look like? That is not a gnoll. That is just someone being horny. All right.
Gnolls are just hyena anthros.
Yeah. That's just gnoll underboob. That's all that is. Like, that's not what that was drawn for.
To the
Yeah. Ooh, that is AI art that should not exist.
There's an awful lot of that.
That one's really good. Okay, we'll go with that one. Thank you, Corvus.
Here's a hyena face as well.
What will those help? Bugbear with a hyena head. Yeah, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Big forehead, big ears, flat face.
Yeah. So I need to know, chat, if you guys saw this guy selling cheap wands, 2 for 10 gold, on the corner of a street, would you buy?
Well, considering he doesn't have a face at the moment, probably not.
Fine, I'll work on that.
Sorry. Just like, I'm not gonna buy a wand from Mirror Mask over here.
I was gonna ask, yeah, would you buy a wand from a mannequin?
Unless the mannequin was like, I don't know, magically programmed to sell stuff, like an automated vendor, maybe.
10 gold pieces, but only once. I'm looking up Knowles based on your reaction. Yeah. Like it's, I typed in female Knoll, and it's just nothing but porn.
Oh no, yep. You see now your problem there is you were dumb enough to put a gender tag on it.
Yep.
It's because if you type in just Knoll, you get the one picture of art from the book and my stuff.
Well, I mean,
You can self-reference. Okay, so it's not a lot of a face, but it's some face now. Homeless ass looking guy.
you're just buying wands from Caleb.
Kind of.
They call me homeless wizard. Can't you make your own house? Shut up.
I said that's what they call me. I didn't say that's what I am.
I was watching an old Looney Tunes cartoon while I was visiting my parents this last week because I didn't have cable, so I was just watching whatever was on TV, and it was like
Yep.
the old TV channel. And Bugs Bunny used rope trick to disappear someone out of existence. And I was just like, huh. I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh, where you like snake charms the rope up into the air?
Yeah, and then the guy climbs it and just disappears, and then he just pulls the rope down. The guy's just gone. And it's like, where'd that guy
Yeah,
go?
so that has a specific reference to like some old like magic tricks from the 1800s. Or at least in articles
Sure.
of what would happen.
What happens if he puts you in the box and then you disappear? You're gone forever.
Man, some of those 1800s sideshow deals were batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy, I wish I could remember his name. I think he was in France, but he worked out a place anatomically where you could put a sword through yourself and it would miss all of your organs.
Yep.
And then he like trained his body to be stabbed in that location repeatedly, so that like built up a callus all the way through himself so that he could get people on stage to run a sword through him for money. That was his profession. I'm just like, what, dude?
Yep. David Blaine did the same thing for, like, piercing his arm with a needle.
Yeah.
He basically built up a spot where he could do that. Super weird. I hate that Everly Homeless Wizard is somehow inspired by Caleb. He doesn't own the tax bracket people. I mean, yeah, he's an archetype. He was built as an archetype. But he's a famous archetype. Just like Grog. Like, right? Grog was not the first dumb barbarian.
Yep.
It's one of those rubber flailing inflatable color things. Doing the selling, then definitely I'd buy it.
But also, Caleb wasn't homeless. I mean,
He was just dirty.
homeless, but he wasn't even dirty. That was just Laura trolling him, and it stuck with the community.
Yeah. No, it's Caleb looking like a homeless person was his cover.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't, like, dingy or dirty. He was just disheveled.
Fair enough.
It's like, Laura's like, oh, and you stink too. He's like, no. I mean, the only other homeless, dirty wizard archetype there is Radagast. So,
He was a druid. Nobody liked him. But also a wizard.
Yep. And
Gandalf liked him.
Yeah, because they would smoke weed all day.
Yep. Smoke that sweet, sweet hobbit leaf.
Which I'm still pretty sure was supposed to be tobacco.
I don't think it was. I really don't think it was.
I actually think it is, because I don't think he was a... Because he smoked a pipe, and I think that's the only like thing he really ever did.
That's fair.
Some of the ways he wrote about that tobacco, what did make it sound like wacky tobacco, but I will 100% give you that. But yeah, knowing how like staunchly Christian and conservative Tolkien was,
I mean, I'm still. We're not supposed to talk about Lord of the Rings, but
Yep.
I'm still.
Well, we're talking about Tolkien, not Lord of the Rings. Technically.
I'm gonna just let that
Finish
go.
your thought.
No, it's fine. I was gonna talk about the allegories of homosexuality in Lord of the Rings, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Sam and Frodo.
Yeah.
Legolas and Gimli.
There are only
Well, that
3
one
women
may
in the
be more-
books.
So I feel like the Legolas and Gimli may be just due to the movies. I don't know how much their friendship was in the books.
I mean, they were good friends, but no, I think it's more Sam and Frodo.
But Sam had a wife.
Yeah. He still followed a guy across the entirety of the continent.
Yep.
No.
No,
Yeah,
a big part of it was
I
like there's.
agree with you. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is whether or not Tolkien had envisioned that, like it became part of the culture to talk about, because it's one of those beautiful stories about loving somebody regardless of whether or not it's sexual, which is totally fine. And it's a really good book, really good story. You can care about somebody a whole bunch and not push them into a volcano. That's all I'm saying. Don't have to push them into a volcano. We were talking about this, not this specifically, but Lord of the Rings the other day, and we're like, there's really only 3 women in the books, and it's Galadriel, Eowyn, Arwen, and then maybe Shelob if you count Shelob. It's like, that's it. There's 4 at the most.
Rosie.
And then Rosie at the end of the books, yeah. And yeah, I love Galadriel. She's great. But Eowyn and Arwen, one have almost the same name. Yeah, Sam's wife. Yeah. And then
and 2 have no personalities.
and 2, yeah, they just really like Aragorn because he's hot. I love me that old man. That old elf man.
And then one of them also specifically loves him because of the prestige marrying him would give her.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong; they get to do cool stuff. I just wish they had more FaceTime.
Yeah, and more personality than I need to marry the king.
He was the best king, though. There's a
mean,
relative of Bilbo's mentioned. Oh yeah, I also Labilia Sackville Baggins is also in there, but she's really annoying, right?
Yep.
It's not
And
that
she's really only just reference.
Yeah, and so like that's the thing, which is because the argument is like when you're writing a book, there's a thing about, I can't remember what it's called. Someone will correct me on that. Tolkien doesn't write women badly; he just doesn't write women. That's the problem. He just doesn't write them. Because Galadriel's great, and I really love a lot of the stuff that she has, but it's definitely written of its time, which is kind of a bummer.
It was also very much kind of ahead of its time because fantasy was not seen as a serious literature, and what fantasy existed was historical fantasy, so Arthurian BS stuff.
Sam was the best Hobbit. Oh, absolutely. Sam was by far Sam is the hero of that book. 100%.
Yeah, and Frodo is his damsel in distress.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Frodo.
Painting on rocks everywhere.
My favorite moment in the books about Sam, I think, is one when he gets the ring and just kind of like, I could be all powerful. He's like, nah, which is great. But like the other part is when when Frodo quote unquote dies, and he's just like, oh dang, and then the goblins pick him up and run off with him, and they're like, haha, he's still alive, and Frodo's just like, oh shit. Like that's a very quick summation, but like that whole scene of him realizing like, dang it, I fucked up real bad. I love it. I don't know
And
why.
then takes on the whole Tower of Orcs by himself.
Yep.
Basically.
He's just like, well, I got to do this now. I love Sam. Sam's great. Okay, that's enough Lord of the Rings talk.
I like Falamir. I hear he's even better in the books than the movies.
I don't know which one's he.
He's Boromir's brother.
Oh yeah.
Screw up.
Yeah, he's way better in the books.
Yep. The few women he does write well, though, as little personality as they have, he still avoided a lot of the more demeaning tropes. Yeah, exactly. Like the one thing that like was always kind of weird to me but not weird to me is Éowyn. Is it Éowyn? Yeah. Éowyn's the human one.
Yes.
So in the book, like she defies staying at home because the father's like, I trust you and you alone. You have to become like the queen here. Like I'm running off to war. You're doing this. And she's like, fuck that. I'm gonna go. And she saves everybody. Like gets her arm broken, gets the crap kicked out of her, and everyone like saves her. And then as they're like carrying her back to the town, everyone's just like, oh, she's so pretty. It's amazing. And it's just like she just murdered like a huge demigod, and everyone can only say she's so pretty. Like what the shit?
What is wrong with you guys? She killed a thing that literally nobody else could kill.
And then my only counter to like not taking that too critically is that that's basically how he describes Aragorn as well. Anytime he walks in everywhere, people are just like, oh, he's so pretty, he's so majestic, and it's like, okay, people are just kind of stupid in this book.
Yeah.
So Aragorn is like Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, like anywhere Aragorn goes, people like he in the movies they show him as like, you know, the dark rider, and he's just like kind of grungy and dirty. But then in the books, after that point, when he's not trying to hide, everywhere he goes, people just like, who's this asshole? And then they look at him and they're like, oh my god, he's the king. Like everyone just knows. Everyone just like instantly gets horny for him and knows he's like the true king. And so it's like that.
I mean, if you look at all the statues they show, and it's like, of course he's Isildur's heir. He looks like them all, which may not be the best idea if you look like all your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of implies a few things.
Well, to be fair, they live forever, so it's like it's not a long line; it's just a long-lived line.
Yeah,
fair.
He's got that half-elf blood in him.
Isn't Elrond also a half-elf?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He is the first half-elf. One of the first. So, like, there were the two elf brothers that, this one's like, I like women, and this elf's like, I'm gonna live forever. And then, so he marries a human and becomes mortal, and then Elrond is born. I believe. So, and then Elrond chose to be an elf, because you're allowed to do that. At that point.
Yeah, because there was enough magic in the world for that to work.
Mm-hmm. So, to be fair, just a lot of people don't realize this, Aragorn and the lady that he likes, she's like his super 15th removed aunt. It's a very long...
It's more okay.
It's more okay, but it's still weird. It's still weird. But I guess if you live forever, you're kind of related to anybody regardless, so...
Yeah.
Because, like... I would argue I'm more okay with that, like, super long distance relation than, like, what George R. Martin does.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I
want to bang my older sister.
Like, even medieval Europeans wouldn't be down for that. It's like, no.
But the
Who knows
Targaryen
what's
blood.
okay?
Yeah, no, like not even the super
Habsburgs.
inbred, the Habsburgs. Yeah, not even the Habsburgs were that brazen about it. They married themselves into so many other like prominent families that basically, in order for them to keep their Habsburg line, their aristocratic heritage, people basically had to start marrying cousins.
Just like Harry Potter.
Just like Harry Potter.
Wait, what?
They're just
Sorry.
obsessed with the pure blood.
Yeah,
Wizard bullshit.
every pure blood wizard in Harry Potter is extreme. Like their parents are extremely closely related.
Not surprising.
Mostly first cousins. I think Ron's parents are like second cousins once removed.
That's still a bit too close for comfort.
Yeah.
That's why they're all redheads.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I will say,
Not saying all redheads are that. I'm saying both that their family is redheads and they're not mixing those recessive genes.
We're going too far. We've deviated. Bring it back around.
Yep. I do want to say, going to George R. Martin, that's the most ridiculous thing I heard them talk about in this show. It's like when when Ned figures out Joffrey's true dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Arab gold. I was like, that's not how it works. Because like the Baratheon dude is also related to the Lannisters and the Targaryens, and so it's just like, of course, a random blonde kid being born to a family that married into other families has a high possibility.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like hair of black, hair of gold. And I was like, that's not how it works.
It isn't. It isn't.
It sort of does, but
For him,
in
like
the context that they describe it in, it's like that should not be that strange.
for the amount of surety that it matters to that book, like other people would have figured that out. if Ned Stark really had that as like dead to rights, I really think it was more just supposed to like get Ned on that thought. Like I don't think that was really the proof, you know, because that's not proof.
There were other indications.
Like you could ask your crippled son, and he would have told you.
Oh,
There's a whole lot of that book that wouldn't have happened if people had just talked to each other.
Right?
Ned, I need to talk to you, but instead I'm going to get on a boat and not write you a letter or anything. Everybody died.
Yep. Or just following through with the deals you've made. Ned's son, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he got shanked real good for what he did. Oh well. Where did Sam is the best go, and where did incest redheads come from? yeah. It got weird. It got real weird.
I'm sorry.
If your bloodline directly contributed to the capacity of magic in my children and I, inbreed and I arrogantly marriage must be mandatory. I mean, that's what a lot of royalty thought in a lot of history. Yep. Cough, Harry Potter. Oddly, just like Harry Potter, followed me singing along with Shania Twain's Waiter Bring Me Water. I don't know that song. I have not listened to Shania Twain's in a long time. It's been many years. That's weird. That's weird to me.
Right? I was like, no, she's from like South. She's like from Tennessee, right? Nope, Canadian. Way up in Canada.
Okay, let me get this scale mail in here, and then we'll add some shading, and I think we're done with this one. It's a good little sketchy sketch.
Spent all of my time on the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? It's another fucked up movie.
You say it's not or is?
No, it's just another fucked up movie. We're going through a lot of weird movies today.
I'm trying to think of something nice to talk about.
I've just got. Guess not genocidal wizards. What would you call that? If they're obsessed with their bloodline.
Conservative.
Conservative wizards.
Oh god. I don't know what you would refer to like rich people from like the 1920s.
Yeah, I can't think either.
Socialite?
Well, no, specifically in relation to worried about that. I mean, they're Nazis. They're wizard Nazis. We'll just put that.
Yeah.
We'll just put that out there. I have a book of Pop-Tarts. Bingo. Good conversation. Start there.
The top of Pop Tarts.
I was talking to my family about that. I think I ate a lot of Pop-Tarts when I was a kid. And I don't know if that's healthy for me.
It's not. I'll tell you right now, it's not. That is a lot of sugar.
It is 1:30. I want to do at least one more, but I'm going to go fill up my water glass, and I'll be right back. So hang tight, everybody. And then I'm going to draw a card out of this deck. We're going to draw something. All right, hang tight.
I don't know how to talk about the yakshas that I'm actually really looking forward to.
Yeah, I watched the stream. Yakshas are not something from lore that I'm like super familiar with.
So they're from IRL lore.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this is the first time they ever mentioned them in Pathfinder. So they are. Oh god, this is such a problematic way to describe them. They're kind of like how in the British Isles and parts of Europe you have like various types of like nature spirit fae
Yeah.
type of deal. That's kind of what yakshas are. But in Indian subcontinent mythology. They're often like they're mostly benevolent, but sometimes they're pretty capricious. You often will see them like kind of like as door guardians for
Right.
different temples. And
So
in India, they're
not quite house
mostly
spirits.
yeah. But in India, they're primarily kind of just human-like. But in like places like Thailand and in Indonesia, they are more bitey, as they're described.
More bitey. What are we talking about?
Yakshas,
Yakshas.
which are they're a player race coming to second edition Pathfinder.
And their unique thing in 2e is, so with the new player core stuff they put out, the different ancestries have like edicts and anathemas
Anathemas, yeah.
that you can like choose to adopt to like give yourself like root your character more in like kind of the established lore of the different groups in
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
That's what they replaced the alignment system with, right?
Yep.
Basically, kind of, yeah.
Okay, sorry, 1 second. I'm drawing a lich illusionist whose illusions are so real, I can never really tell if they've defeated him. Go ahead.
Fancy. And so the different heritages for the yakshas are based on the different vows that they've taken. So one of them is like their like edict is to hunt down Asuras and Rakshasas.
Interesting.
And so that is a unique heritage. And they are technically immortal, but they generally don't live to be super long because of fighting Rakshasas, and Asuras tend to live not a very long life. And they have different. And the picture I shared is the one on the right is like a feat that you can take called Howling Aspect, where you kind of
turn into a werewolf thing.
kinda
Kind of, yeah.
your hair turns like you pull out your not pull out your hair, but you kind of like your hair grows out into fire, and you grow like big tusks.
Weird.
And that's specifically a reference to like Indonesian and Thailand yakshas.
Gotcha. Harry Potter is a universe in which most of all casters are sorcerers by D&D logic. Yeah, we've talked about that a lot in the past. There was another one too. There was another one where there was something that all sorcerers are actually wizards. Words have meanings, people. What was I just watching? I was talking about that. I think it was an anime. I'm trying to think. It was some weird anime I was just watching about dealing with blood.
Blood magic.
Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't an anime. I was reading the new Jim Butcher series. The Furies of Calderon, I think is the first book. I don't remember what the actual series is called, though.
So is it not a Dresden book, or?
No, yeah, it's a different universe. It's a new series. I think there's 6 books altogether, and it's a finished series. But, yeah. I'm to a point where I think what happened is, like, the world is the same as our world up to the Roman Empire, and then people discovered magic. And then now it's present day, but no technology was ever created because everything is controlled by Furies, which are essentially like spirits. It's pretty bizarre.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's good. So roll for tax bracket? The Illusionist Warlock, a 14th level school of illusions, so your illusions become real. Plus 2 levels of Warlock, so that Misty Visions invocation. Reality is what I want it to be. Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
That sounds like something my brother did for a character once.
So I was just informed that there is and this is a game probably that only I will know about, but it's called Greedfall. Apparently they're making a sequel to it, and I'm really shocked that they are.
The only game I ever need is Helldivers 2. So yeah.
And the only game I need is Minecraft. So.
No, I'll probably be playing the new Elden Ring thing too. Greedfall?
Yes.
I have not heard of this.
Me neither.
Done by Spider or Spiders Studio.
I know Frostbite, and I can't even think who did Helldivers 2 now that I think about it.
Frostbite was an engine.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I feel like if anyone would know the name Greedfall, would probably be Burning.
Interesting.
Maybe. I don't know.
Somebody took
maybe Dagon.
Somebody took the mechs from Armored Core and put them into the Elden Ring universe.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty funny. So I gotta go. No problem, Green Lego. Thanks for hanging out. Curious about Helldivers 2, but I'm not sure if I care about losing the looter shooter enough to justify the purchase. It's not a looter shooter. Yeah. It's a third person. It was originally a twin stick shooter, but it's more of a squad based shooter.
If you want to check it out later, I'll stream it and show it to you. It's pretty good. But yeah, no loot. No loot. You kill bugs, you get paid money. And then you use that money to upgrade your rocket launcher. It's a really fun system. Because it's less about like it's a lot more about tactics and placement and teamwork than it is about like Diablo, which is just kind of mindlessly mashing, which is more of a looter game. Or like Destiny, it's a little bit like Destiny, but instead of like picking up gear, you're just trying to achieve not death, and you die a lot. Not death, yeah. Like, so basically you get a mission, right? And it's like, cool, you have 20 minutes. And it's not 20 minutes to finish, it's 20 minutes to call the evac. And if you call the evac at 1 second less, it's like, yeah, great, cool. You don't get the bonus for finishing on time or actually finishing at all. But we'll still call down the evac, and then if at least one person makes it back, good job. So like you can get left behind on the planet so easy. And it's great. So it's like the Aliens games that failed? I have no idea. I didn't play any of the Colonial Marine ones. I always wanted to because my friends liked them, but I never played any of them.
It kind of sounds like more serious Lethal Company, but about killing the things instead of
kind of, yeah.
Grabbing.
So Lethal Company is it's more similar to that than you'd think. So Lethal Company is a roguelike in that when your team dies, you lose everything and you have to like remake your kit. But Helldivers is, even if you lose, you still get a little bit of money, and you're using that money to like upgrade the respawn timer on your weapons. And so when you drop down, you can only bring like 4 weapons with you, 4 weapon types. And some of those can be like airstrikes, some of those can be like rocket launchers, machine guns, whatever. And you have to physically call them down by like putting in a command code. And that's kind of the game. So if you run out of ammo, like your whole team can only call down ammo once every 5 minutes. So you have to like talk about it. It's not a roguelike. No, it's not a roguelike at all. It is just, it's squad-based chaos. So you land on the planet, you call up your weapons, you guys get your weapons, then you try to achieve your goal. And if you die, your weapons get dropped, your friends can call you back down, like drop pod style from the sky. But then you either have to find your weapons or recall them down. So it's a lot of planning and talking. And if you don't talk, you kill your teammates very fast. And so it's essentially Starship Troopers, yeah. What if you were an ODST from Halo, but Starship Troopers? That's Helldivers in a nutshell. And they love it. Like, they revel in that comparison. Like, they are not at all trying to hide that that's what they love.
And people are still missing the satire of both things.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like the whole thing about the universe is 100% Starship Troopers. And so the whole theming of the game is like, we're doing this for liberty, yeah! And then they like burn down a bug hole. For democracy! I love it. Would you get Helldivers 2 over Remnant 2? I have no idea what Remnant 2 is. I didn't play Remnant 1, so yes, 100%. Roguelike and roguelite is a strange difference. Like, you lose everything, light, you keep stuff, and invest in permanent upgrades. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So this is not roguelike at all. Like, you don't lose anything ever. Essentially, you do session-based missions, and every time you do a mission, you come back with a little bit of money. That's it. And then that upgrades permanently. You can upgrade permanent stuff with that. But a lot of it is just like, do you want to unlock the submachine gun? And you're like, yeah. So they have a like, you can buy in-game currency to buy cosmetic stuff, but everything will eventually become unlocked by you just playing the game. But it's a lot of just kind of choosing what you want to unlock first. That's really all you're doing.
And then every time you start up, you just pick the 4 or 5 things you want to take with you. And then that's why talking to your team comes into play, because everybody can bring 4. And so you have to talk about, like, okay, someone bringing a grenade launcher, someone bringing an orbital strike so that we can destroy these bug nests. Yeah, it's really fun. Do you like any roguelites? Did you say democracy?
For democracy.
For democracy, yep. I love roguelikes, yeah. I've made and played and love roguelikes. They're great.
All right, that's enough. Here we go. Human wand salesman.
Great job. That looks good. The other fun thing about Helldivers is the way they scale their difficulty. So you can essentially just play the whole game on the first setting. So it's kind of a cakewalk, but like that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still doing all the stuff, unlocking everything, having a good time. And then you get up to like 4 or 5 difficulty, and they're like, "We'll give you double XP. You might survive." And then they have, it's like easy, normal, moderate, hard, doom, death, super hell. Like they scale it up to the point where it's just like, who can play this? No one can play this. This is impossible. And it's really fun to just kind of push that bounds. Yeah, I did a lot of Dead Cells. I did some Dead Cells art back in the day, which actually was probably one of the first things I posted on this channel. I got to meet the devs for that game when I went to it was some game convention. That was really fun. Those are roguelites, yeah. Yeah, roguelikes, I haven't played one in a long time. Because I think the roguelite genre is better. I just do think it's better. Where's Chuck Norris difficulty? Yeah, it's on there somewhere. I guess that's kind of an interesting way to look at it too, because things like Risk of Rain and Risk of Rain 2 are technically roguelites, but you don't get a lot. Like, there's not a lot of out-of-game leveling. It's just like, oh, you've unlocked this character. Great, you know? Like, so... So those, I think, are still more roguelike than anything else, but... If I was to play, I'd have to have Doom music in the background. The music is actually pretty good in Helldivers 2. They do a really good job. Dead Cells, I got to 5 boss cells and beat the final boss. Maybe you'll have said that if you ever get to the first boss cell, you're getting like 90% of all players. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. It's a tough game. It's a lot of luck too, though, because like, we played before a lot of the stuff came out. We were playing in like beta, I think, alpha and beta release. So like they didn't have a lot of the things they have, but a lot of the times we kept running into areas where it was like, if you don't get 1 or 2 of these items, like you're just not going to get very far. And then if you do, you get super far, and you're like, yeah. So it's a tough game. It was really good. I liked Dead Cells a lot. Which is kind of my problem with a lot of roguelikes, is they're a little too RNG heavy. So
Yeah, I have the same problem. I'm more or less done with RNG in games. I think it can be done well, but I feel like it's been used lazily, or too lazily in too many games, to the point where it's like, if I can tell a thing is produced using RNG, it makes me mad now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it goes back to the same thing we were talking about, like storytelling. Like, if a developer isn't trying to develop something intentionally, there can be cool things that come out of it. But a lot of the time, RNG is a lazy path forward because they don't have to actually design things to work well together, and then things break. Yeah, sorry, Oliver. It's been 5 years since I played Dead Cells, so I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah, I've never played it, so I have no idea. No idea what I would do.
I was really worried about Helldivers 2 because it's been so long since the first one came out, and I was just like, oh man, they could really screw this up. And then the first thing I noticed was that it went from being a top-down shooter, because it used to be a twin-stick shooter where you pointed with one thumbstick and then you moved with the other.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, it's over the shoulder, dang it. And then I played the tutorial, and I was laughing my ass off. And I'm like, yep, this is good. They did a good job. They figured it out. If you're not yelling hit the dirt a lot, you're not playing the game right. In other game news, super excited about the Elden Ring DLC. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'll probably wait to get it until they come out with a good mod, like a good multiplayer mod, unless they actually implement a good one themselves.
Unlikely.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna get it. I am gonna get it, but I'm probably gonna wait until I know it's stable. I had a bunch of friends, company included, that just really loved Elden Ring. Some of my other friends, maybe a little too much. And so this morning I got inundated with, look, oh my God, Elden Ring. I was like, oh, awesome. But so I will be playing that one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope they fix a lot of the little things that bothered me about the first one. I think Enter the Gungeon was the only roguelite 100%. The only 100%. There's a lot of them. I liked Heroes of Hammerwatch was really fun. That's another good multiplayer one. Rogue Dungeon was really fun. Or Rogue Legacy. Sorry, Rogue Legacy was really fun. I like that one. That's a single player, though. I'll probably play it with all the cool looking gear and never finish the story.
I don't think I've ever finished. Is Hades a roguelike or a roguelite?
Roguelite.
Okay. I finished Hades. But I think even across the two genres, it's probably the only one I've actually finished.
There's not a lot of real roguelikes anymore. And like I said, it's because I think the roguelite is a much better way of doing that. It just is. Because not having any progression, which was not necessarily intentional with the original Rogue, it just, that's how a lot of games were with Rogue.
Yeah. I avoided roguelikes for a really long time, specifically because it felt like it always felt to me like going back and playing really old like NES Mario games, being like there's no save. It's basically like playing a game in which there's no save file. That's fine, but I always found that to be very frustrating. If I'm gonna play a game, I kind of want there to be enough story for me to come back to it over and over again. Beating my head against a wall until I break the wall is not the way I like to play games personally.
Yeah, and like so for Hades specifically, like Jump Rope loves Hades for the story. She wants to finish the whole story.
Yeah.
I beat Hades, and I was just like, I beat the guy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm done with the game. I don't care anymore. Like it's just like I just wanted to achieve something, and now the rest is just kind of spinning. So, and that's kind of the same problem with Elden Ring too. Like I want to try things, I want to grab stuff, but I don't care about the story. So a lot of the people I know that like got really, really into the story, Jump Rope included, just like have a whole aspect of that game that I'm like, great, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I don't care about it. So. Because I'm just more interested in like actually playing the mechanics.
Yeah. Fun like mechanics, diverse character builds is the thing that I think roguelikes and roguelites both do the best. Getting to experiment so much. I do really like that. And like I am first and foremost in Hades for the story. as well. But I do think it has tons of replayability because I like playing around with the builds and seeing what I can get.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like with Hades specifically, like they have such a good combination of an active story that people can follow over multiple runs, as well as so many different varieties of way to like upgrade and build the weapons that you can play both of them and still be super happy with it. And I think that's why the Rogue Lite is a little bit better, because like the progression of a story over many lifetimes, it was super smart. Like that, I think was brilliant for them to do that. And I think that's really where games can go without relying so heavily on the RNG to be the thing that makes the game good. Which that was kind of the thing with Rogue Legacy, not Rogue Legacy, but because that still let you do that. But like Dead Cells and the original Rogue game, it was still very much like I said, sometimes you just don't get a good run and it's just too bad. And it's like, yeah, I wish I had a little more control over my character to do that. So, counter argument: there should not be a must-have item in a game where loot is random.
100% agree. If you, that's the problem with RNG.
You weren't invested with the moon.
There's a lot of games where progression relies on you getting specific stuff,
right?
And if they rely on RNG to drop that thing, there are people who basically will hit a brick wall and never be able to get it. My brother's one of my brother's runs of Monster Hunter. Forget which version, but there was a specific item he needed. It was a character drop he needed to be able to get in order to get the armor he needed in order to progress to the next stage. Because like your character doesn't get stronger, you build better equipment, right? And he needed better equipment, and he fought the monster that drops this item. I think it was a Rathalos ruby, and he killed, I believe it was in the realm of 320, between 320 and 350 Rathalos. Like he spent more than 100 hours looking for this item, and it did not drop because it was RNG based.
Yep.
And like that's really bad.
This is what we call the Jeff Kaplan effect. Jeff Kaplan invented the Raptor Heart quest in World of Warcraft, and it's the most hated and stupidest quest that in existence. So, oh, look at that. We killed 50 raptors, and only 2 of them had hearts. Excuse me?
How does that work?
Yeah. I actually like MHW's progression system.
Monster Hunter Worlds.
Yeah, I hate it. I really hate it. It's the same thing with like Destiny and Diablo. Like the looter shooter mentality is kind of fun. Like I like the gameplay mechanics of all of those games, but like, yeah, it very much is like it's the slow grind upward. And it's just like I don't want a slow grind. I just want to either have cool shit and play cool shit, or keep building cool encounters for me, not just upping the numbers a little bit. That makes me up.
Your mic might be crapping out, Rook.
Is it? That's not good. That's not good. I might just be talking too quietly. But I think my internet might be dying.
You were coming in clear for me.
Okay. Yeah, the difference is that you don't need to have the best possible gear to progress. Yeah, and then that's kind of the problem with like, especially with like Destiny, I ran into that. It's like I know what guns I want to use and what armors I want to use, and now I just have to keep grinding to try to find better versions, and it's like that's not fun. So I'm done, and I just walk away from the game. It's weird for everything being Overwatch. Kaplan is pretty hated, but he was well loved by the Overwatch community. Yeah, like I like Jeff Kaplan. I like Jeff Kaplan a lot, but he's made some bad decisions in the past. We'll put it that way. I mean,
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. He did that one, and he did the Terra Bloodhoof, I think it was, which is one of like the slowest and worst escort quests in all of World of Warcraft. So, like, when that game came out, like those didn't exist. Like he invented those things for the most part. Like EverQuest had some stuff, and like escort quests aren't necessarily just a WoW thing. But like those were big quests that everybody had to hit, and they were hated, wholly hated. So he's remembered for the bad things because they were surprisingly bad. That's how Borderlands 3 lost me. I was grinding for all the weapons every time. Yeah. When I played the original Borderlands, I accidentally got a really powerful weapon right at the beginning of the game. And I walked through like the first third of the game, and then I hit a wall so hard that I couldn't find any better guns or anything that would do anything, and I just stopped playing the game. Like, it was... Yeah. And then I played a new character, and because I didn't have that superpowered gun, the game just was kind of like, it was just slow and grindy, and I was like, well, and I gave up on it. His rants about EQ are legendary. Yeah. Kaplan's cool. I would not begrudge talking to him or like giving him credit for what he did, but I will always razz him about
Raptor Hearts.
Raptor Hearts.
Are you back, Druid?
Uh-oh. Did Druid's computer explode?
No,
Okay.
In Discord you were coming through like robot-y and spotty for me for a bit. Which is why I mentioned might be a problem with your mic or your internet. But it turns out it may have been on my side, so I restarted Discord and we'll see if it helps.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sounds fine now. So.
Okay, that's good. What time is it? It is 2 o'clock. So I think I'm going to finish this up and then I'll call it a day.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm burnt. I spent way too much effort on that axolotl.
That was a lot. It was good. I have some more commission work to do this week, and then I don't know. I don't have anything planned for that. I got to work on the next video idea. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. If you haven't seen the Psychopomp video, go watch that. Give that a like.
Share it with your friends.
Share with your friends.
You work all your money.
Send me all your cryptocurrency to this address. Oh, boy. Commissions will be open again next week, I think. If people are interested. Pointy has a series about making every class into a lich. I feel like fighters might be the most difficult. Nothing to work with without reflavoring. Oh, interesting. I'll have to watch those.
Yeah.
I think lichdom is kind of an interesting concept in general, and I think a lot of people just kind of overlook the fact that it's difficult to become a lich. And,
Yeah.
like, if all you're looking for is immortality, there are much easier ways to become immortal than lichdom. Like,
Yeah.
lichdom is kind of a weird way to go about doing it, because really what you're doing is you're fusing your soul with magic, which most people wouldn't do. And I think most rational people wouldn't do. And, yeah. So...
Yeah. There is a reason it's generally considered to be an exclusively wizard thing.
Which is something that, because I know the series that they're talking about, Antonio talks about, is like, he sees the term lich as a purely wizard thing, but then he decided to like explore what would be other avenues similar to lichdom for other classes.
Gotcha. Okay. Because like the monks can gain perfect body or whatever the hell it's called in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Which is essentially they stop aging and they stop doing whatever. And there's some really cool creatures. I think they're temple guardians. Is that what they're called? Which are just that. Like they're monks that have just dedicated their entire purpose to like defending things, and so they just sit there and guard it, and can be these ancient undead things. I really like that idea.
Yeah, there's like a Unorian mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Where you, like a monk has like self-mummified themselves.
Yeah. Yep. In Harry Potter, it's easy just to do the Avocadabra Colorado thing. Yeah. I see it as much as serving your soul and pulling with planar forces. Yeah, because I think having older immortal beings, I think, is fine, right? So if you're a fighter, I could definitely see like you fusing your soul to a sword or something. It would kind of count like lichdom, but it's not the same intent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, it's more like you're making yourself into a sentient magic weapon.
Yeah. So I could see lots of things like that, especially like paladins. Same thing. Like a paladin probably wouldn't try to become a lich, but you may have their soul like fused to something. Like you may be able to summon them as a spirit, or they turn into a sentient weapon. I think that would be kind of cool. I think lichdom itself is kind of a perversion of wanting to be pure magic, right? It's like, I want to become pure magic. It's like, cool, you live on the ethereal plane now. It's like, oh shit, I want to be on the material plane. It's like, well, you need a body. You need a body for that. It's like,
What if I store myself inside an object?
Yep. I think Vecna's coming back in the next D&D installment. Is what I heard, rumors. So I think we'll learn more about liches coming up, which would be really cool. I was supposed to make this look more illusory. I don't know what else to do here. I'm tired. Magic is still a lich, and sentient is undead with no real need for magic, but might need rebuilding the bones. Magic is still with lich. Yeah. Imagine hunting down a lich only to get your soul Buddha palmed away. Oh, from like a monk? Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. I mean, that's the other thing is like, lichdom really should be its own thing.
Yeah. I thought it was.
There's templates for it, and so you just take levels in that. But like, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a lich be like a barbarian or a druid. Like you could maybe have a nature-based lich. That'd be interesting. But I really just think that would be a different thing. I really do think it would just be a different thing.
I thought the lore was, and maybe this was older editions. Maybe I'm completely pulling it out of my ass, but I thought the lore was that lichdom was achieved by a very specific ritual that was only given to wizards who worshipped a specific dark god in the pantheon.
That might be one instance, because yeah, like Vecna, I think. So is it Norgorberger? I think it is. I think it's Norgorberger in Pathfinder who basically found the way through necromancy to become a god, and then killed everybody and destroyed the knowledge, and now he's the only one that knows it, right? And so lichdom is basically people trying to recreate that to the point where he constantly sabotages people and destroys their research. So that's why liches in Pathfinder are a little weirder,
Right.
Because essentially Norgorberger doesn't want liches to exist, and if he does, he makes sure they're kind of broken, and don't work right, so people don't attempt to do it. In D&D, I think Vecna is kind of the same thing. Vecna basically figured out how to become this perfect lich, and the world ripped him apart to stop him because he was basically becoming a god, and so the world stopped him from doing that. And so because of that, there's a few. Was it Baldur? I think Baldur's Gate talked a little bit about it. They're gray liches. Liches can come back as many times as they want as long as they're holding the souls intact. Then there's gray liches. I might be thinking of the gray liches. Some of the death gods will basically. No, I'm thinking of the red people, the Thanes. They don't like liches. They want to turn everybody else into undead things and control them.
Well, they're ruled by a lich.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they don't want people becoming liches. I think it's
They don't want the competition.
Yeah.
They want the slaves.
They want the slaves. So I do think the lichdom thing is not something that like players are supposed to be able to get to. So I don't know if there is a distinct like path forward. But I know that there are things talking about that for the process. I think there's been one template that had like, here's the process to becoming a lich. I just can't remember where that's from. And I'm trying to remember, but I think I'm done here. I think
Book of Vile Darkness, maybe.
It could be. That could be. Because I remember if you look it up online, there is like these are the requirements for becoming a lich from one source that is official. Yeah. That is an official thing. That's like the souls of 100 people and some other crap like that. But a phylactery and yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, like something that I thought was interesting, is there's a whole lot of people that had failed liches experiments, right? A lot of the people that we think that are liches really are people who tried to become liches and failed, and so are like incorporeal in the ethereal plane, and they're trying to convince people to like resurrect them, right? That's a pretty common trope for D&D storytelling. Is like someone is trying to resurrect somebody that died because they were either killed or failed at becoming a lich. So
I personally like failed liches a lot more than successful liches.
Yeah.
I think they're more interesting to play with.
because at the end of the day, if you're a failed lich, you're just a ghost. Like, dang it, I ghosted myself. Ain't got no body. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that. There's also go ahead.
Sorry, I was just looking up the named liches in D&D. There's like 20 of them.
Is there? Okay.
Because there's like Azarak or whatever his name is, which is the dude from like Tomb of Annihilation.
Okay.
He's like uber lich, like probably second most powerful lich other than Vecna.
And then there's the weird wizard comets. That's in one of the newer books. Those are funny.
But also, I really hate being like this, but are you sure you mean like Norgriber? Because like
No, I don't.
because like he's like a thief god who like
Who's the god of secrets?
well they'll be like Norgriber, but like he didn't get lichdom. He became a god through the spirit stone or soul stone, whatever.
The
Star stone. But he like killed everyone who knew his original identity.
Maybe that's what it was, and that's why he wears the masks.
Yeah, because like every time like people try to paint him or depict him, they like get hurt mentally.
Mm-hmm. Test of the Starstone. You're right.
Because he's like Ken Kalian and Omade.
Yeah, he's one of the
who
other ones.
did that. Because in Aurori, he did it through being Buddha. And Nessus did it by just being a super powerful wizard who ripped himself apart.
And Kaden Killian got really drunk and can't remember how he did it.
Yep. and Omade got because she's a Nepo baby.
Yeah. You're right. It does look like Norgriberg is not a lich, but
yeah, he looks very lich-like. I'm not. It kind of looks like the Horn King without the horns, or Death from Diablo 3, wherever his name is, Mysterio.
Some followers go into great length to keep secrets, so believing that if the origin of the god became known, the god himself would become undone. So I thought it was because he was trying to prevent other people from doing it, but it looks like he will actually die. Oh, that's the assumption. So whatever. Yeah. Okay. Good clarification. I am going to call it there. It is 2:00. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. I will put these in the Discord if you'd like to use them for your game. You're very welcome to. We will be back on Friday to finish up this list. Hopefully, I mean, there's 12 left, so we might be able to get through that. Otherwise, I should have a short up tomorrow for fun. If you have any suggestions for shorts, let me know. And that's it. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch everybody later. Bye.